Well, look at this here. Well, as you can see, they jammed me up on the whiteboard big time in the second set. I mean, that first set's a thing of beauty, not just the set itself and the show. Also the whiteboard itself. Well, the Wave of Hope opener. If you're going to get a Lonely Trip song, I guess we're, getting it out of the way right off the bat. We'll take that. Got a Waiting All Night right in the middle of that. I know some people love that song, but there's a whole lot of people that do not. I guess I would be in that bus. So let's just get that right off the bat. The stuff that I did not like is pretty much everything else was just incredible. Starting out, basically, let's go with the actual opener. Let's just call this the unofficial official opener if we can. The YEM. And, it cut off, right when it got into the Trey's doing his guitar part, and you're thinking, all right, we're going to drift on in. No, got the YEM actually got the treatment here early in the first set. Getting a little bit of a warm up here and then getting to play YEM instead of coming out with that jam right to start the show, giving themselves some time. And then the jam and YEM. And then I was going to say, eventually, it did kind of cut off just a brief vocal jam, very brief vocal jam, and then just a strong drop right into Moma Dance. That was a nice little seg there. And then we get into simple. Everything else, not that the jamming, everything just had just a touch of a jam. We got our major jam out of the way right there early on. So then pretty much everything else just kind of links together here. Antelope ending strong, got a fee in there with the megaphone, May's burning things. If Waiting All Night brought it down just a notch, May's bringing it back for sure, like it's always. Steam had a little bit of a jam. Maybe Fee perhaps did not have the jam. Simple, a little bit of a jam, of course. So everything got that treatment after the YEM. And kind of the same thing continued over here in the second set. Antelope. So if we didn't get the best of openers, we did get one of the best first set closers there. Not, YEMs kind of can, fit everywhere. Moma Dance back in its spot. Simple, also versatile. Not necessarily a shuffle there on the first set. Oh, of course, everybody loves Fee. Who doesn't love Fee? And what else did we get here? That's pretty much it. That covers the first set. A very, very good first set. Probably going to be overlooked and forgotten here from the forum after what we got in the second set. Cars, Trucks, and Buses, the instrumental, big city guy getting its second appearance this year. Atlantic City, the other run. Had a bit of a gap before the Atlantic City show. Now here we go, getting, again, just a tease of a jam there. Not necessarily getting the full treatment. Then we come in starting here with our first dig into the tweezer. Then it goes into LA Woman. And not just this little, 20, 30-second dip into LA Woman. Like every now and then you'll see that on a set list or something. LA Woman kind of full-on played there. Got the Mr. Mojo rising. The important part in LA Woman, Mr. Mojo rising. Back into tweezer. Then Santos right there. What was going on? Santos right in the middle of the set. Alligator's mouths all over the place. We got a bit of a tweezer jam here. This was maybe my favorite part of this whole tweezer run, the tweezer extravaganza here. Kind of maybe not bluesy, but there was parts there that had kind of a blues tint to it. What's the use? They had brought it all the way down to complete silence. The crowd quiets all the way down with them, but only for about 5 seconds, man. And then the chompers took over. They couldn't stay in silence more, maybe 6 seconds at most. And then the shouting started. Gives way back into tweezer with some Led Zeppelin Heartbreaker in there. And then it really started getting jammed up. Birds of a Feather, nice little jam. Chalk Dust, a brief jam. Boogie On, Carini. So all this little hump here probably goes together. Mr. Completely even sneaking in. This is where I was really getting jammed on the whiteboard. Mr. Completely giving us a tad of a jam. And then Tweezer Reprise, not saved for the encore. Mixed in right there. Mike busting out the drill again. Still never did necessarily come up with anything clever to say when Mike busts out the drill. And then for the encore, what are we going to get? We get a grind, of course, got to get that in there every now and then. And then Bathtub Gin in it strongly, really quiet, slow, peaceful into the night and the show. People standing there just in awe of what they had witnessed. Perhaps that's what they needed. Maybe they did not need to rock it out and blow the roof off. Maybe the people needed to after this monster. And a lot of this right here is probably, Tweezer's probably going to eat everything up. The LA Woman, that was cool, of course. Santos fit much better right there, I like. Instead of a Santos down here, Mr. Completely, the Boogie, oh, we were so close to that Boogie On Tweezer Reprise, the combo that I just love. Whew, looky there. All right, guys. Well, the forum. The question was, how will the forum be this year? Answered, great. Boom. It's probably worthy. It is probably indeed worthy. You guys go ahead and take a look at that. Well, we are well beyond 3 a.m. A bit of a late start here. We got one more and on to Las Vegas. All right, guys. Boom. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for coming through with the big likes last night. You know how I feel about them likes, man. Gets FSAPA 20 all fired up. Almost as much as a Tweezer extravaganza. I was a big Doors guy at one point. You know, if you get to Phish early, you know, you're probably on that. You're on that path, of course. But if not, if you settle into classic rock as a teenager, you probably got into the Doors. I like the Doors. You probably got into the Doors at some point. You saw the movie. Big Val Kilmer guy. How about that? Yeah, it was inevitable. Val Kilmer was going to get a mention on a night when they played L.A. Woman in the midst of the Tweezer Fest. I mean, there was just so much shit. What'd we overlook? I don't know. Sorry I had to start out with that waiting all night, Wave of Hope stuff. You know, I don't know. I guess people like waiting all night. I don't know. There's baseline. Whatever. Wave of Hope. Nobody really likes that, do they? All right, guys. Boom. Started talking shit. We'll end talking shit, I guess. What a shame. What a great night. I kind of don't want it to end. It's a shame. I can go back. I'm going to go back and check out that YEM jam. Maybe the LA Woman. Maybe I'll go full chomper and get the LA Woman going on. They play all this and you guys want to know about LA Woman. Shame on you.